Are wizards the only ones who get to use magic? Or as an engineer, could I fake it? With a fantasy world filled with flying brooms, hiding cloaks, and crazy spells, there was only one thing I wanted. Magical Wizards chess. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically like regular chess, boring and confusing, except the pieces move all by themselves. Real magic is off the table, but I do have a plan that can make this chessboard work and put me on a fast track to becoming a wizard. The first thing I want to do is code a fully functioning chess game. I should keep track of whose turn it is, prevent any wrong moves, and know where all the pieces are at all times. My plan is to take the logic when someone makes a move on the chess game and transfer it directly over to the board. But let's be honest, no one wants to watch me program, so let's get to the real fun. The first item on this quest is to make something that can grab the pieces. I want the grabbing process to be pretty covert, so any obvious robotic arms or clearly visible moving devices I'm gonna rule out. I was scouring the internet to look for ideas, and then I remembered this game I had when I was a kid. It was a lot like air hockey, except you use a magnet underneath the board to move the paddles. I don't hate it. I'm gonna go buy some magnets and test it out. When the magnets came in, I had some fun, but I also set up a test to move pieces of metal through a board. Some magnets worked better than others, but they still didn't solve the entire problem. See, most of these magnets can easily connect to the pieces through the board, but the problem is I can't just tell a magnet to turn off when I'm done using it, which is why I built this. It's a linear actuator that has a small motor to raise and lower a magnet on my command. I mean, sure, I could have used an electromagnet that does exactly that, but I didn't think of it until now, so we're gonna move on. So the idea is that this piece is gonna go underneath the chessboard. When it's time to move a piece, it'll activate the motor, pushing the magnet to the top. It'll move and slide over to the second location, and when it's time to release, it'll pull the magnet back down. Except I don't wanna be the one to manually move this thing around underneath the chessboard. So once the magnet grabs on, we need something to move the pieces. I have an idea, but it's gonna take me about a 5-second build montage to make. I built this 2-axis mechanism that can move anywhere within this frame. It's powered by these 2 motors down here, and the centerpiece is connected with one long timing belt. It's kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch, except a lot more complicated and confusing. With that taken care of, let's go check on Computer Boy. What I have is this little chess player on this. I'm just gonna fast forward through this. Here we go. Just ran into another problem that I didn't really think of until now. Basically for online chess, when you capture a piece, it just disappears. Like poof, it's gone. But I don't have that luxury in real life chess. So I need to find a way to eject a piece off this board when it's being captured. When I took a break to practice some magic, you know, as wizards do, that got me thinking, what if I don't need to remove the piece? What if I just pushed it off to the side? The only downside, the captured pieces are gonna take up more space, leaving less room for the playable board. Everything's at a good point. I'm gonna have it run through a full test just one more time to make sure everything's working. We'll leave Justin to touch up on the mechanical issues. But in the meantime, I needed some chess pieces to test. And I actually found a website that sells the same 3D files for the pieces that were used in Harry Potter. But I think I already spent too much money because every time I tried to check out, my card got declined. So my next option was to download free files off this website called Thingiverse, which is filled with all sorts of distractions. When I found the pieces I wanted, all I had to do was create a little cutout on the bottom so I can add a metal plate. Since our last incident, I created a stronger mount for the limit switches, which in engineering terms, a stronger mount just means more duct tape. With everything secured underneath, it was time to create a board topper where all the pieces would sit. I know I said earlier that I wanted the grabber and mover to be hidden. I want the grabbing process to be pretty covert, but being able to see the electronics through the board is pretty cool. I was so confident in this board and magnet choice that I just spray painted the entire thing. But I didn't account for the extra thickness in the paint. These pieces barely move now. There's so much friction between the board and the piece that it's basically sandpaper. I tried to use a bigger magnet, but that just made things worse. So instead of using a stronger magnet, I think I just need to use a thinner board, which is why I want to use a canvas, because it's thin enough where I can paint on it, but it's pretty tight so it'll hold the pieces in place. There wasn't an exact size that would fit my board, so I quickly just made my own. And this time, instead of spray paint, I used a Sharpie to color in all the squares. And this design on the side is where all the captured pieces get taken to. If you know anything about chess, you may be wondering, what about the horses? You see, every other piece in chess can move in a pretty straightforward way. This one can only move like that one can only move like this, and of course this one can move like that or this, except for the knight. The knight is the only piece that can jump over other pieces, or in my case, plow through every piece in its path. I can't use any teleportation magic, but I can program the knight to avoid running into other pieces by traveling along the boundaries of the squares. And to give the final illusion of a magical chessboard, I installed a voice recognition software to input my moves. Do you even know how to do that? No. But I can create a macro that opens up Google's voice assistant, which I can just copy and paste into my program. E4, King E2, Knight F3. Who needs 7 years of wizard school when you have a chessboard that transforms any average person into a fully magical wizard? This board lets you play an entire game of wizard's chess with the power of your voice. All you have to do is say the name of your move and the board takes over from there. And its sleek and elegant design makes it a perfect accent for any home. If you thought chess was exciting, wait until you try wizard's chess. Alright, so go ahead and press 2 on the keyboard.
Starting game 1000.
Alright, so whenever you're ready, click enter, and then get ready to say your move.
I have to say it? Enter and then say the move?
Yeah, you'll see. You're gonna open up Google's microphone.
I don't know what the moves are though.
Wow. I'm making sure it's not drilling through my leg right now.
So whenever you're ready, just click enter.
E4.
D4.
And then you have to click enter one more time just to show that, yeah, that's the move I want.
I know it was the queen of the king. Oh my. What kind of snap? That was cool.
That's so cool, dude. What the heck? E4, X, E5. Oh, D5. Oh my god, this didn't, that did not work.
So you're gonna see it take your pawn off the board.
So they all have their own designated spots here?
Exactly. I'm just gonna take that one. Put it where it needs to go.
That's so cool. The diagonal movement I really like. I don't know why. It's very satisfying. I want to see the knight's move. How did they jump over pieces?
Oh, you have to see the knight's move.
I have to see that. Should we just like play a game now?
I mean, it's chess. How exciting did you think it was gonna be?
Castling is forbidden. NF3. I'm trying to say it seductively so that Siri works better. Yeah, that's really satisfying.
Well,
you're kidding me. Good game.
Thanks for watching. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Peace. Oops.